Now we bring you a discussion on the Indian share market becoming the fourth largest equity market in the world. The participants are Dr. Ranjit Mehta, Economic Analyst, and Anubha Rohtagi, Anchor.
Dr. Mehta, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Mehta, Indian economy has been hitting global headlines for quite some time now and ticking all the right boxes. And the latest milestone is the Indian stock market becoming the world's fourth largest equity market by market capitalization, overtaking Hong Kong. How significant is this achievement?
You're right that India is on a growth journey which is unparalleled to any time that we had in the history. So this signifies the story of new India that we have already crossed $4.3 trillion market capitalization wise, and we have overtaken Hong Kong. And this signifies the trust that India offers in it to the world, how foreign investors are really eyeing India, how they are seeing India in the world where there is a lot of turmoil in terms of geopolitical situations that are arising. And especially after COVID, there have been a lot of disruptions in the supply chain, and how India has managed to grow despite such disruption in the total supply chain. And they have actually taken it as an opportunity to make it stronger, to invite the world in India, because we have streamlined all our processes of doing business. If you talk of 2013, 2010, then we were 143rd in the World Bank ease of doing business, but today we are 63rd. So that means we have progressed a lot during this decade, where every business process has been streamlined and the laws have been streamlined. Now, any investor who is coming in any country, first he will see that whether his money is going to be safe in that country. This is the first thing they are going to see. Second thing they see, once they feel that their money is safe, second, how they are going to get the return there. So both these things are very much in the favor of our country, that we have the biggest market. We are having 140 crore, 1.4 billion people market, and it is a growing India. And we are the youngest country in terms of working population. So our mean average age is 29 years. So there are many countries which are aging, but India is actually the youngest country. So we have vibrant population which is ready to take off, which is consuming population, and we are an aspirational society with highly growing middle market. All these factors make India one of the most attractive destination of investment currently, and that too with such a robust political system.
Almost continuous rally in Indian stocks. We've been seeing a major slump in Hong Kong index. Would you say that China's economic struggles in the last few years, including the slowdown in Chinese economy, its real sector or its property sector crisis, regulatory crackdowns on corporations, and the lack of major economic stimulus measures by the government have had a negative impact on Hong Kong?
Yes, China has many problems, especially after COVID-19. And how, the corporations, as you rightly said, have been really targeted. This has actually shaken the confidence of investors in Chinese economy. And now the world is looking for China Plus story. Now, what is that China Plus? What is the alternative for China? So with India, one of the biggest market in the world, and the kind of robust political system, robust judicial system that we have, people are looking up to India, and this is the region. Now, whoever is coming out of China, now India is offering them a place where they can set up their factories. With our Make in India initiative, many people have taken the advantage of the PLI schemes that we are offering to them, and the kind of growing market we have. All these things are leading this kind of a growth in India.
You mentioned, of course, the China Plus policy across the world. So since the pandemic, we have, as you rightly said, we have seen a shift towards China Plus supply chain situation. And as you also mentioned, that India is benefiting from that global shift. To cite just one example, the iPhone manufacturer Foxconn has set up production facility in India. And that's just one example. So clearly that the China Plus One policy has affected Indian markets positively.
Absolutely. This China plus story now, what is happening is people are really looking for alternative to China because they just can't depend on China anymore. Now, what is the alternative for them? The alternative for them, the world's biggest economy, that is India, and 1.4 billion people, robust political system, economic system, the banking system is very robust in India. Social system is very robust. Technological intervention in India. You have seen that how India has really done well during the COVID in terms of technology. Now, our digital public infrastructure have been success story all over the world. People want to adopt our UPI system. Our UPI system has connected, it has got most people into formal economy. So this kind of technological shift that has taken in India, many people in the world, they are surprised that how we have done it. Where there's a will, there's a way, and this can be done. So even the tech startup story in our country. Look at 2016, Prime Minister Modi has announced Startup India. And in India, that time we had around 400 startups. But today, as we talk, we are having more than 100,000 startups in our country. And our youngsters, they want to be the job givers. That is their mentality now. The youngster of today, they are full of passion for the startup story because it is because of the ecosystem that has been created in our country. And you have seen that from around 10 unicorns in 2015 to around 115 unicorns that we have had in India. I think all these stories, there are few unicorns who just became unicorn in just 2 years. Just imagine, this is totally unheard of in any economy. I think these kind of steps which were taken by the government, they created an ecosystem where people can really grow and they do their business. All these things have paid. And this story is taken very positively by the investors all over the world. That's how they are relying on Indian market. And that we have seen in recent times that how Indian market has broken records in last 5-6 years. And despite, going down during COVID, how we have recovered in 3-4 years after COVID, this is unbelievable. This is the story of New India.
You mentioned records, and the Indian stock market cap crossed $4 trillion for the first time in December 2023. And now we are, in less than 2 months, we are at $4.33 trillion. The thing is that an important factor for the bull run of Indian indices has been the unprecedented rise in retail or domestic investors, especially since the pandemic. How do you view this development? How has this impacted the markets?
I'm glad that you brought out this point because retail investors, earlier in India, they used to put only in bank FDs or to some extent in debt market. But today, the kind of growth stories that we have seen in Indian market, today's retail investors, they have confidence. We have such robust mechanism that your money, if you are investing with proper analysis, you will definitely earn in the stock market. More and more people are coming into stock market. They want to invest. They are putting their money just because the companies are doing so well. Ultimately, they are buying the shares of the companies, stocks of the companies. These companies, where India is a growth story right now. It is the highest growing economy in the world. So therefore, this growth is coming from each and every company. So these companies are growing, people are putting their money. So retail investors, mutual funds, they have really invested in the Indian stock market today. There was a time, if you talk of around 2-3 years before, even 3 years before, or even before that, when FII, they used to withdraw the money from a stock market, the stock market will come down by around 5 to 10%. But this is not the case today because our DII, domestic financial institutions also, they are investing so much of money. I think that this is a new trend that India is seeing. Our investors, our retail investors, they have more confidence in Indian stock market. They are investing in it, more and more people, and this growth story does not stop here. Even today, not many people are investing, but the trend has been going up. The way the trend is going up, you will see that it is not too far that we will overtake even Japan very, very soon, next maybe few years. The kind of growth, the kind of interest we are seeing from all sections of the society who are investing in Indian stock market.
most of the world is quite upbeat on the India story, there are some who talk about overheated Indian market and valuations being quite high. In a way, asking how long the upside will sustain. What do you have to say on that?
The upside sustains not because of any story, it sustains because of the fundamentals of any economy. Our macroeconomic parameters are very, very strong. Look at our fiscal deficit, look at our interest rates, look at the way the government and the RBI is controlling the inflation. All these macroeconomic factors, they really make the economy very, very strong. Now, this has to go up because you will see that why people are coming in India today. They are not only making for the world, but India itself is the biggest market in the world. If any company who comes here, he puts up its factory here in India, they are not only going to supply to the world, India itself is such a big market. We have an aspirational society. Our growing middle class, their aspirations are very high. And every day India is growing now. The penetration is happening in tier 3, tier 4 cities, even rural markets. So India is growing from all sides. So this kind of, I think, growth story was never seen before, and it will continue. I would just say that this decade of 2014 to 2024, this is the decade which is where I would just say that it is Dashak se Shatak. Shatak means by 2047, when India attains its 100 years of independence, I think the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, which is going, it is all about growth. It is all about Indian story. I think that this story is not going to stop here. I think next complete 25 to 30 years, they belong to India. By that time, we hope that India becomes a developed economy in the world. I think these are the times which are very, very fortune times for India, for Indian economy, and for people who are progressive, who are looking to invest in any country. I think India is the right country to look at as of now.
Now, like you just said that, the next few decades belong to India. It's going to be the India story. But do you see any challenges in the near future? Do you foresee any challenges for the markets in near future?
Challenges are the part of any market. There cannot be any market where there are no challenges. Otherwise, it will not be a market. So the challenges could be some geopolitical situations. So one is this. Another is like if there is no pandemic-like situation, which is not in the control of anybody, or any natural calamity. All these are the challenges which are there in any economy. Apart from that, whatever is in the human control, I think that we are a robust economy. Our economic system, banking system, judicial system, we have reformed our labor laws, our criminal laws. All these systems are in place. I think our fiscal deficit needs to be under control, which the government is very conscious of, and the kind of public investments that we are doing, and you have seen public investment in the infrastructure sector that we are doing, that is setting the growth up. And also you have seen the GST collections over the years, they have been growing and growing and growing. I think that with these all parameters, macroeconomic parameters, India is a very robust economy. And I do not see any major challenge, except, as I said, that some geopolitical situations, natural calamities, or like pandemic-like situation, these are not within the control of a human. So therefore, even if you see the sustainability-wise, India has already committed to reduce the carbon emissions by 45% by 2030, and how we are transitioning towards the green economy, towards the green energy. These efforts have been taken by India, keeping in mind that we want to be net zero by 2070. It's not that we are only talking, it is also that we are making an effort at every level, that whatever we are saying, those things are there in reality, and so that people can really believe that this is what is happening at the ground level.
Thank you so much for that very informative discussion, Dr. Mehta.
Thank you very much indeed for having me here. Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on the Indian share market becoming the fourth largest equity market in the world. The participants were Dr. Ranjit Mehta, economic analyst, and Anubha Rohtagi, anchor. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of Akashvani. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may share your feedback about this program through email at airnsdtalks@gmail.com or WhatsApp on 928-909-4044.
ये आकाशवाणी है। चर्चा का विषय है कार्यक्रम में प्रस्तुत है आगामी बजट से ग्रामीण और कृषि जगत की उम्मीदों पर चर्चा। इसमें भाग ले रहे हैं कृषि विशेषज्ञ नीला रंजन और